Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk to you about risk in retirement, and I'm going to tell you that this is slightly different from risk the way a fund manager sees risk. So when a fund manager sees risk, like for example, if he is running a hedge fund and he runs out of money, or he finds interest rates have gone through the roof and he's unable to borrow, then it means he has to sell his equity at a very poor price and close the fund. Now that is risk in running a hedge fund. That is not a risk in running an equity fund in India. If you're running a large cap fund, yes, the NAV could fall, but it doesn't mean there is going to be a run on your money, that everybody is going to redeem, and those kind of things don't happen. Similarly, risk in retirement, the way it is shown to you is to say, oh God, if you don't do this, you are going to be in trouble. And but what happens is, like many of us who start our lives, we think, oh, we are going to be the CEO, the corner office, we're going to buy ourselves a Mercedes or some top-end car and things like that. And then if it doesn't happen, you just adjust. So similarly, when you are a retiree and your portfolio is not doing very well, or something is happening by which you think that the portfolio will not be sufficient, or you think you're going to live too long, you thought you will die at 84 and you are still alive at 87, you're worried that your corpus won't last, you will just adjust. It is not something you will have to worry too much about. In the worst case scenario, you will go and stay with your children. If your children are not there, maybe with your wife's cousin's children or somebody with you will go and stay with them, or you will find some way out, right? The worst case scenario is when you have to go back and live with your children at the age of 82 or 83 because you've ran out of money. That also doesn't happen, because mostly Indians at that age will have one asset called the house, which can always be put in a reverse mortgage or sold, and people can shift to an old age home using this money. So it's not really the fund manager way of looking at risk. There is risk, of course, in retirement. The risk is you will have to go and stay with your children. There is no other great risk that one has to worry about. Retirement fund or retirement corpus is not really a hedge fund or PMS that you are doing, and if you run out of money that you will be in trouble. So I don't think that is the way one should be looking at it. And let's enumerate the crash of 1928, crash of 1987 in India, the 93 to 99 go nowhere market, the fall of 2007. All these would have hurt your portfolio. Sure, of course, there is return of the risk that your returns are very bad the day you retire, and that ruins your portfolio, and therefore it takes time to recover. If you have a reasonably good advisor and reasonably well managed portfolio, all these things which happen don't hurt your portfolio too much, unless of course you have had the harebrain to go and fill your portfolio with mid cap and small cap, and you find it is not recovering during a recovery phase, and the recovery phase is too long, and you sell in desperation. All these things have to happen. Markets have to fall, you have to get desperate, you have to sell, you have to be able to find a buyer, and therefore you got rid of your portfolio. Then you went and put it in some other place, like for example the pilot from Jet Airways who kept his money in PNC Bank, right? So here you lost your job, you got money, and you kept it in a bank which went kaput. So this combination of bad luck and bad factors has to happen. So if you have a equity portfolio and the market falls, and you also have a debt portfolio where you have expenses for the next 10 years, there is nothing for you to bother. But however, some people can't sit tight, right? So they will then jump up and down and sell. So if you don't do anything like that, I think you have to really rethink as to what is the risk of retirement. Risk of retirement, yes, compromise in standard of living. Yes, it's going to be painful. I'm not saying it is going to be easy. Being forced to live with your children because you have run out of money, and your son or daughter taunting, saying, oh, I thought you knew how to handle money. See what a mess you have made. Yes, those taunts may be there. Painful, yes. Impossible to live, no. You will be able to as long as you are willing to bend a little, compromise a little, you say, okay, we will not go to Switzerland for a vacation, we'll go to Goa for a vacation, or we will not go to Goa for a vacation, we'll just go for a walk. I'll go and use my club facilities which are there, I'll go for a swim, I'll stay there, I'm happily running my life with what I can afford rather than what I thought I could afford. Isn't that the way we all adjust our lives? Do we say, no, I must have this car or I must have this house and for that I will borrow? Yes, of course you can borrow, but you have to repay also. So we don't worry too much about the implication that that our incomes are not as high as we thought it should be. So you live with that, right? So that is exactly what we will all end up doing. Yes, there is risk, but this risk is very different. We will bend a little so that we don't break, and that's it. Your standard of living will go down a little bit, but that's not really too much to worry about, right? Because then you take empirical data and see what has happened. Have people been ruined because of fall in market prices? Actually, no, not that much. People have been hit because I mean, I regularly see somebody coming and saying, look, I'm 60 years of age, I bought these shares, do these shares make sense? I put money in crypto, does it make sense? Answer is no. The question is, do you have enough surplus to lose that you can put it into such places? Do you have the ability to take risk? Don't go by age alone. Risk taking is a function of age, how quickly you need the money, how much you understand. A combination of all that goes into risk. So I think it is time we rethink about risk in retiree portfolios. Don't worry too much. Tell the retiree the worst case scenario, you will go and live with your children. I'm still saying there is no reason why you should not be prudent and frugal and all that. No, I'm not saying that. But be ready that if something like this happens, what is the worst case scenario? That's it. Thank you.